Okay, we're going live. Quiet. Hey, good people. It's your boy, Pastor Dru, here at Prophetic Voices Network. You are watching the Dru Kelly Show. My very special guest on tonight is the grinder herself. She's none other than Shonda. At least that's how you know her on Facebook. Hey, listen, this sister inspires me and has been for quite some time. Every time I see her on social media, I mean, it is one thing after another. And I mean, she put the pedal to the metal on just about everything that she does. She don't even know this, but she inspired her boy, Pastor Dru. I mean, she really inspires me. There's not very many people that I enjoy going to their page because I always know that there's going to be something done with a kind of zeal that's a little different than everybody else. You know, I'm a firm believer that if God is giving you a gift and you grind at that thing, I don't care if it's picking daisies on the side of the road, your daisies gonna sell better than folks that are selling roses simply because of your dedication. And he says, my flock knows my voice and they follow me. So when you follow God and you grind, things happen for you. Helping me out on tonight is the chancellor, doctor, counselor, teacher, and so much more out of Charlotte, North Carolina. She is none other than Dr. Ann Jackson. Welcome, Dr. Jackson.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Also out of Atlanta, this brother is the founder and CEO of Pearly May Foundation. He is Mr. Gregory Bonner. Hey, Greg, what's up, man?
Hey, thank you for having me.
God bless you. Thank you all. Shonda, sit back, relax. We're going to get started in just a moment. Here at Prophetic Voices, we ask you to do something.
Thanks for the invitation.
All of social media works by way of algorithms, meaning how you interact is how the network picks up how well you're doing or not. You can have 1,000 people on your platform, but if people are not typing, if they're not hitting hearts and thumbs and that kind of stuff, the system says only those that interact with you does it really give you credit for. So don't hesitate during the show to holler back. If y'all was at the bar, the club, the park, or wherever, y'all would be hollering back. I don't know why when y'all get around folks that go to church, y'all seem to
be quiet.
My God.
Go into a whole nother mode. But it's high time, I believe, that we're talking tonight about the new normal. And I don't know if you all have realized it or not, or if you felt this thing in your spirit or not. Church as we knew it pre-pandemic is dead. It's done. There's a new normal that's taking place, whether it be career, work, family, in our own homes, everything has changed. That's what we're going to talk about here on tonight. We're going to talk about the new normal. Before we get started, I just want to play something real quick. This brother is coming up in the next hour. Be sure to let your family and friends know that there's 2 hours of the Dru Kelly Show on tonight. This hour is with the one and only Shonda Cares. The next hour is with a boxer and rap artist, gospel rap artist out of Chicago, Illinois. He is Bryce B. Barrett.
Bryce Brown. Okay.
Okay, he don't want to play, so. Okay, all right, well, we'll go right on there. Hey, listen, we start the show each and every week by getting everybody comfortable, and how we do that is with a starter question. The starter question is meant to get you ever watch that show? Are you smarter than a fifth grader? The starter question is meant to get your brain and your tongue on one accord so that you can ask coherent questions and be able to get comfortable with myself, co-hosts, and panelists and that. And so we're going to start with the starter question. And the starter question for tonight is, everyone has a special gift. Some of us are multi-talented, faceted, cultural, and all of that. But gifts and talents can be a blessing and a curse. Where there are people that love your gifts, there are also people that hate you for that very same gift. I want you to take one thing that God has blessed you with, that there are people that say, oh my God, I just love the fact that you can do blank or that you do blank. And there's other folks that say, okay. Some of them even give you a hug and kiss and tell you how great you are, but your spirit already knows they're blowing smoke. They're gaslighting you. We're going to go around the table and we're going to answer this question. What's that one thing, Dr. Jackson, that you possess that them colored church folks love you for, and at the same time, it's, I know better?
Why you start with me? Yeah.
He's like,
I've been targeted tonight. You see.
There's a gift in going first. You set the atmosphere.
The one gift that I have that people.
That's what happened when you have 30 degrees. You can't think of nothing.
Pastor, that's not just one thing.
I know. That's why I
I
say choose
think
one.
The most problem I have is being a woman in ministry.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I think, and it's not so much as the gifts or talent. It's just being a strong Black woman that is destined not to take down, back down, step down, set down. So that can become a problem to a lot of people. And I've been told that. I've been, in conversation. Some men have said that some women are very strong, and that may be some of the reasons why some of them are still single, because of their strongness, their strength, and not being a weak person.
I told you the one thing that I appreciate about you in ministry is that you don't lose your femininity. That when you're preaching, I like that. If that's who you are, that's how you made up. A sister preached hard, and that's just how she made up. But when a sister's trying to compete with men, I hate to see that. I really do. But
I was taught, Pastor Drew, when I was start ministry, my pastor from Jacksonville was a very forceful person. She preached really hard. That's that growling and that grinding and that kind of like. I said, God, one time I went home and practiced to see if I could do it. And I did. I've tried so many things and said, oh God. And for some reason, I just didn't have, that was not part of who I was. And, and so that sometimes can be intimidating to a lot of people because you're so, a lot of women, I can kind of like tell, Shonda is too kind of suave and debonair, you kind of ease it up on them. And that's what gets them, because you ease it up on them and they don't know it's coming.
She's a teacher, so she's able to articulate and express in a manner that's conducive to getting the same, the same outcome as somebody who's hollering and screaming. I grew up under a pastor that said you should never preach it before you teach it anyhow. The preaching is just worship. You're just praising at that point. If you ain't taught nothing, you just hollering and screaming and acting a fool. and got folks acting a fool with you. But if you taught something, then you have a reason to praise, and the hooping is okay. But just hooping for the sake of hooping.
There's one thing. My uncle told me.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back. We
Okay,
can
I
only do
want
an
to say that. Go ahead.
Let's go to Greg Bonner, Pearly May Foundation, Atlanta, GA. What's that one thing? I could think about 5 for you, but what's that one thing that you
Probably a little different, but and this is only because of a conversation I had earlier. I'm probably going to say the creativity and planning. So it's I do have I do think of stuff that I want to do. I by nature am more of a methodical, analytical type person. So if I say I want to do something, I generally go, okay, so I know A, B, C, D, E, F, step by step by step. Then I do have a lot of people who say, oh, that's great, we can let Greg do it. And then we got other people, well, why don't we just do it this way? And then I'm like, no, you got to do A, B, and you get that type of war thing going on quite often. And I had that today. So it just popped right in my mind because of that.
That's good, because I was definitely going to say paying attention to details. Shonda.
Okay. Being able to connect with others outside of the church very, very well. So that's the issue. I think that the jealousy comes in. My connections and everything, because people tend, once they get to know me, they trust me. You know what I mean? So I developed that trust is there and everything. So I think that's what it is, being able to connect with so many people, not just in the church, but outside of the church as well.
Yeah, you and I have the same one. That's the one I was coming with. When God called me in the ministry, he didn't call me to be the conventional, typical pastor with the typical church. God called me to go after those that nobody else wanted. Right. And because I go after those that nobody else want, these are usually the people that society look down upon. If you're a prostitute, come on over here. If you're gay or lesbian, come on over here. If your mama broke your heart when you was 3, come on over here. Right. That's the ministry that God gave to me, and I'm unapologetic about what God gave to me. And so I bless the name of the Lord. And then people get upset that you are not apologetic about the ministry that God gave you. I'm not going to apologize to you for what God gave me. It's a blessing to what God gave me. I'm not going to bump you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gave me $2. You ain't came over here and helped us do anything in this community. And I'm supposed to worry about you? I don't think so. All right, everybody. Thank you. That's what we do to kind of break the ice, to get things going. And now you know a little bit about everybody that's on the panel on tonight, so you feel a little bit closer to everybody. You don't feel like you're standing out with this thing. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back on the other side of the break, we're going to get right into the interview with Shonda, and then we're going to go into the conversation about the new normal. Dr. Jackson, was it good?
It was good. I had to get that in.
Whoa, it is Prophetic Voices Network with your boy, Dru Kelly. I am working from my phone, which I am not used to doing at all. I'm used to being on computer. But unfortunately, I went to turn my laptop on and it did absolutely positively nothing. It was black and dead. So we are back. Shonda, thanks again for joining your boy, Pastor Dru. For those of you out there watching on Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter, and all of the other platforms that we're on, bless you, bless you, bless you, and thank you. Once again, my very special guest is Shonda Cares. also out of Atlanta, Georgia, is the CEO and founder of the Pearly May Foundation. He is Gregory Bonner. And out of Charlotte, North Carolina, is the Chancellor, Doctor, Counselor, and so much more. She's Dr. Ann Jackson. Shonda, sweetie, we were supposed to do this like forever ago.
Forever. Wow.
Many times over. And timing is everything. And I thank God that we got you before we break for the summer. We're in the second quarter here at WPVN. And the rest of this quarter, we're going to be talking with all of our guests that come in about the new normal, whether they be a producer, a politician, entrepreneur, whatever they're doing, the conversation is going to be about the new normal, whether it be in their business, their own life, the whole 9 yards. And so, Shonda, like I was telling people, and I've been saying it over and over and over again, so they should know you are a grinder by now, because that's the word that I keep using to really describe you. Okay. From my perspective. What has it been like? Well, let's go back, because again, I jump on and I see you doing so much. Tell us a little bit about Shonda. Growing up, Shonda. Let's start there.
Okay, growing up, of course, I grew up as a little girl in the church. I was multi-talented, just like you all are. And, and I had a decent life. I did have some trauma going on at a certain point in my life. It wasn't always
How old were you? Let's go back. You say you were multi-talented starting back in the church. What were you doing?
Well, when I would go to my aunts and everybody receptions, and I would just dance, and they would just say, "Oh, she's just so cute," and blah blah blah, and dance at the receptions and all that kind of stuff. But later on, I actually went to school for it.
Oh wow!
So it turned into something different than what it was when I was younger. And I sang in the choir and all that sort of thing as well too.
I don't believe you. Hit it.
Hit it? You heard me. Didn't I put it on social media? You put me on the
spot. I'm just kidding. But growing up, what was the household like?
Growing up, I will say these things. Growing up, my mom taught me a lot of domestic skills that people don't have nowadays. So my mom and my grandmother raised me, actually.
Okay.
So I had two of the best of the worlds raised me. It was my mom first, and then I went off to my grandmother, and she raised me a lot too.
And how old were you when you went to your grandmother's?
My granny, I was with her for a very long time, but I would go back and forth between my mom's house and her house. Okay. But I would say permanently, I stayed with her probably from 17, from my granny all the way up.
So basically during your school years, you were with your mom. It was once you got close to graduating or finishing high school.
I went over there with my granny because I kind
of Now, wait a minute. What was going on that granny need to say, baby, come on over here and you're going to finish out high school over here? Because I'm listening. I hear.
Well, I was going through those teen years, you know what I mean, where I kind of like.
So you was gonna skip right over that. I ain't gonna let you by.
So I went, you know what I mean, kind of like going through a little teen stage, what most people go through.
Yeah.
So my granny could relate to me. She was more open, and she could relate to me better than in that way than my mom.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's what grannies are for. Granny spoiled and made mama's job even harder. What was middle school like? I'm asking that because that's where most of the changes really start taking place, is in middle school. What was middle school?
Middle school, I was in with the white folks because I was in a which kind of changed my life a little bit concerning a lot of things, and I got to learn about society more than just being around black people. I went to Catholic school for middle school. She sent me off to private school, I think, because she knew, you know what I mean, We was
Go
already
and say it. Now look, you dancing around and come on, talk to the color.
we was already living in the hood, you know, like kind of like
Right.
where the kids that was hanging out acting a fool and stuff. So she sent me to middle school, call herself trying to get me away from that. It didn't work, but I mean, you know what I mean? She sent me over there and I was like, Mom, why is blah blah blah? I used to keep on asking her questions. Why is it like this and why is it like that? You know, at first I really didn't like it because it was too quiet over there.
Yeah. Now you said something interesting. You said it was better over there and that you learned stuff over there.
Well, I learned more over there. That's how I picked up on my math skills. I had a teacher from Germany that taught me a lot about math. My math skills became really advanced because of the teachers and stuff that was over there.
Oh, okay.
And my reading and my math skills.
Right. Now you're an entrepreneur. Tell us about that.
Okay. Entrepreneur. My mom is an entrepreneur and my dad is as well. So it's kind of in me, you know, but my mom was a cosmetologist growing up, you know, when I grew up, that's all I knew her as, but she went to school first and then she took us out of poverty by having that type of lifestyle, you know, because we went from being extremely poor to not having nothing. And then when she took us all the way out of that lifestyle just from that business itself alone. And so I always looked up to her. My dad, he has a business, but he has halfway houses for people.
Wow, okay.
He helps men that have been locked up. He helped them get on their feet and, you know, after prison and everything, and go into jobs, get them ready for the workforce and everything like that. So he has his own business and he owns property. So both of my, even though they're not together, both of my parents, they have businesses. And then with me, I sell products too. I'm a Mary Kay consultant.
I was gonna say, girl, you on here with these church folks talking about selling products. You better tell us what you're selling.
I sell I'm a makeup artist and I also sell I sell anything that has to do with Mary Kay. I'm looking for Mary Kay consultants. So then that's an option there to have people employed. I also I just built an online store from scratch. If you could think of Amazon or something like that, my store is kind of like made the same way. But I'm just I don't have as much as they do. Of course, I have 105 items now. So I just steady build my items. I design 5 items every day. And so now I'm getting to the point. I just met some people today. They're called Better World Books. And they started from scratch just like me. So then what I'm going to do is meet with them and they're going to teach me the ropes of, because now they have a warehouse. They have a warehouse with nothing but books in it and they just send it all over the world. Okay. But me, the thing I like about my online store, which is Inspire Self-Love, they will ship it off. All you got to do is hit the button, pay for the products, and it'll come straight to your house. And it doesn't have to come from a warehouse from where I live at.
That's awesome. So what are some of the products that you offer?
I sell bathing suits, t-shirts, women's dresses, tennis shoes.
Wow.
Men's kids clothing and men's clothing.
Right. Mm-hmm. And you are a teacher. Tell us about that.
Teacher, I'm gonna tell you that right now. This year, the last thing I did is I was a dance teacher. Okay. And I taught choreography to inner city kids, urban kids. Quite a challenge for me because up where I live at, I have been talking to some of the parents and they are not happy. They're taking their kids out of the school system that I worked at, putting them in private schools because of the behaviors going on up here. Kids don't want to learn. I don't care if it's dance, history, math, or whatever it is. They just don't want to learn. And that was my issue. Here I am. They call it a specials class up here in Indiana. So I was teaching. My first 2 classes were excellent. But then my last 2 classes, they just didn't want to learn. And it was really shocking to me and heartbreaking at the same time, because when I started out when I was younger, they was just so enthusiastic about everything. Kids, remember how kids used to be enthusiastic? If any of you work with kids, they used to be really enthusiastic. Now it's to the point where they just really don't want to learn. And
let me ask you this: how drastic of a change was it post-pandemic? Was this happening before the pandemic, or this is?
I think it happened after the pandemic. It got worse. The isolations the kids had, when they got back, their behavior was horrible. Their learning development went downhill, and all of the kids in every grade level, the teachers are trying to get them back up to where they need to go.
Wow. Let me take a few minutes because there's people that are hollering at us that want to say hello. David L. Hudgens Jr. Say hello, everyone. God bless you. Pastor Dru saw you online and just wanted to show some love. Thank you, my brother. Tell your wife happy Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. And even if your mom is resting in heaven until she sees you again, happy Mother's Day to her as well. Faith Harrison and the Chosen Vessels of Cleveland, Ohio. God bless you, Faith. Hey to everyone, Faith says. Lynette Spicer, the founder and CEO of BBTV Network out of Cleveland, Ohio. God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Timothy Hayward. Hey, Tim. God bless you. My sister, Elder Lisa Hood, is on. My brother, pastor of the Southeast Seventh-day Adventist Church, Cleveland, Ohio. Stan Hood, I wish I would have known you was available, Stan. I would have had you on tonight. My sister, Ruth Ann Stewart. Hey, Cookie, in Cleveland, Ohio. Cookie, I need to talk to you. Javon Mack. Hey, Javon. Javon said, pastor is to be you and only you, not an imitation of someone else or their style. Absolutely, positively. Hey, thank y'all. Hey, listen, I need everybody that's on right now. I need you to hit the hearts 10 times. I need everybody that's on right now. I need you to hit the hearts 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's still the same as when you were in elementary school. It's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hit those hearts. Hit those hearts. Let Facebook know that you are interacting with us so that we can get the credit that we deserve. All right. Shonda, God bless you. Thank you. We're going to move into this new normal thing. You know, as I thought about the new normal, I thought that it was important for us to understand a couple of things about ourselves and what we've been through, so that we can position ourselves to move forward in a healthy state. One of the things that that really troubles me now, of course, the soul is always the number one factor when you're working in ministry, but mental health really stays front and center in my mind. Again, when you talk about the fighting in school and that the attention span being close to zero, we lost. I read some papers from a couple of institutions that said that our kids lost 10 years with this pandemic in learning in the public school system. That it was going to take us 10 years to straighten that out. But if you could find a vaccine in 8 months, you can find a cure on teaching our kids if you want to. But since you don't have an answer for keeping guns out of the school, I just couldn't imagine you finding a way to get our kids up to par with English, math, and reading. But there's a couple of questions that I want to ask the panel. First, let's go and let's talk about what was life like for you pre-pandemic, during the pandemic, and looking back in retrospect, you can say to yourself now that there are pros and cons that happen as a result. And here's where I'm going from here. All right. I'm going to start with you, Greg.
Oh, okay. I think pre-pandemic, I was the typical corporate person, working my normal 12 to 14-hour days. You know, you do your 8 hours at work, come home, and then you still got 4 or 5 more hours, work a little bit more on the weekend. And then during the pandemic, even I got to work from home a lot more, but the company I worked for at the time was kind of leaning towards us working more from home, not more for mental health, but more for a corporate bottom line. If more of us was working from home, that they found out, then that means there's less office space that they needed to be renting, and that's more money they could save or whatever. However, what it has done for me is I noticed I became a little more productive when I'm at home. I don't mind getting up a little earlier or working a little later when I only got 10 steps to get home. Or I can still eat and work out and do everything. So since post-pandemic, I think for me specifically, certain things in my certain important things have changed for me. For one, I don't want a job. I don't want to go back into corporate America if I have to go into a job 5 days a week. I'll do, I can't think of the term where I'll go in 1 or 2 days a week, but then work from home 2 or 3 days a week. My preference, of course, is not to go into an office. And then a lot of that has to do with health as well. You know, I'm not as afraid of, I'm a little more afraid, of going into offices or into big settings where there's people you don't know about vaccinations and diseases and the way people take care of themselves versus you washing hands, things of that nature. So I'm definitely not likely to go in. And my perspective has changed. I've been definitely more focused on my own self since the pandemic. Definitely getting more into mental health type stuff. Doing teledoc, listening to teledoc specialists and not psychiatrists, counselors, things of that nature, doing more of that. Because I'm old school. I came up when the time frame where we didn't go to psychologists or psychiatrists. We were supposed to just go to church and turn it over.
Pray about
it. And realizing that doesn't work completely for me. So I'm definitely more focused on my own health, my own mental health, because I think once my mental health as it improves, everything else kind of falls into place. I'm more focused on going to the gym and eating healthier and sustaining, and I don't feel the need to keep people in my life that aren't a positive influence for me and, moving forward. So post-pandemic, I think I've done a 180-degree turn as far as how I'm living and how I'm handling stress and moving forward. And then, of course, my foundation. I'm definitely way more focused on that. And obviously, it's doubled since the pandemic. It's really doubled.
I was about to say, now you just made half the folks that were watching you click off. The ones that, wait a minute, more than before.
Yes.
The brother was already OCD. You mean more?
Yes.
Yeah, but bless you, Greg. Let's go to Shonda. Shonda, before, during, and after the pandemic, what have you noticed and where are you now?
Well, before the pandemic, I lost a lot of people in my family. The pre-pandemic, it's kind of devastating for me. I lost my daughter. I lost some uncles. I lost some cousins. I mean, a whole slew of people just gone.
Wait, hold on. Your daughter?
Mm-hmm.
How did I miss that? I'm sorry. When did this happen?
It happened in 2000, like I say, we're 2019, like it was in October.
Oh,
so
wow.
It was very devastating for me. I will say it's something that I would never want to see anybody go through. But going through that process, every day gets better for me. And I have, I'm not against, like he said, like Gregory said, they in church, they said that you just go and ask the Lord, but I'm okay with therapy. Therapy is actually fine for me. I did get some help concerning like grief counseling and all that sort of thing. And I do other therapeutic things as well. It's been like almost 4 years. So it was like I said, all those different people that passed away, that was a shock for me. It's quite a few people. It wasn't just my daughter. It kind of like started with her. And then it was like all these other people in my family that passed away. Most of them were from COVID. My daughter was not from COVID. She had they called it natural cause of death, a heart attack. But I think it had a lot to do with COVID. Now they said, and a lot of other people in my family that passed away from COVID. Yeah. So friends too. So it was kind of that the pre-part was kind of devastating for me. So now the new norm, during that time, it put me up. I really learned during that season, because even when she was living, she was doing DoorDash with me. She was helping me out. We were doing DoorDash together. So during that time, I wasn't teaching, and that kind of like made my entrepreneur skills a little bit stronger. They were a little weak before that, but then they got better, because it was just like I didn't have a choice, because teaching, I had to stop teaching because they closed the schools down. So then I went into full-time entrepreneurship. I was doing went into full-time entrepreneurship. I started DoorDashing, which was decent money. It's bringing me anywhere from $200, $300 a day with me and her before she passed away. Then after that, I was doing Mary Kay. Still doing Mary Kay at this point. Now I don't do the DoorDash, but I do a few. I sell a lot of products. That's what I do. But I do Lyft. So every day this morning, every day this week, I will be getting up and driving from 5 o'clock in the morning to 1. So I'm like Gregory in that way. I'm trying my best to stay away from the corporate world. I'm not against it now.
Right.
I don't tell them I'm not against it, but after this little situation when the kids didn't want to learn was very frustrating for me. And I thought about doing a summer camp, because my house itself, I set it up where it is a nonprofit. My house is a nonprofit. I set it up that way because you get a lot of benefits having a nonprofit, certain benefits you do get.
And what is it that you're going to be offering through your nonprofit?
This is called my house is called Smart Kids Tutoring.
Okay.
And so a lot of different, I did on-call watching for babysitting. I was babysitting this Hispanic child, different children. And then lately people have been asking me, okay, I had an offer today. The girl was like, do you want to do an arts camp at your house, where then the kids would learn how to paint and do art? And basically they just like Boys and Girls Club, they would pay a certain amount for a whole summer and then just come here every day and learn how to do arts and crafts.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Shonda. Let's move over to Dr. Jackson in Charlotte. Hey, Dr. Jackson, you've been waiting patiently. You say I put you first on everything, so you're the last one this time. Prior, during, and post-pandemic, where does the doc go? Answer those questions and then tell me, where does the doc go from here?
Well, prior to that, I retired in 2016. And I went. I did early retirement. As I retired as I started as a teacher, then I retired as a principal. I came back to my city and I started my business. I have 3 separate entities. I have nonprofit, I have a consultant group, and I have a school of theology. And they needed a teacher. The time I opened my business, I had 7 counties I operated from in Hickory, from Hickory to Caldwell County. I did 7 counties where I worked with homelessness. I worked with the total at-risk population. And I also did grant writing too. So in 2019, I went back into teaching because they needed a state certified teacher. So I went back, but I still had my business. I was working my business on weekends, and then the pandemic hit. I was blessed to go through the pandemic when it first hit in 2020. I came out. My business had to close down because working homeless. I was like hands on. I had to stop that. So back in Charlotte, I had to get some movers to go and move my stuff up here and store it. It's still in storage. And I went back to teaching here. So I've been an instructor back here in Charlotte for a while, but a lot changed because I returned back to teaching. I was very blessed from the time COVID, like Shonda, COVID took about 47 my family members from when the got started in April, and they tried to diagnose me with cancer also, but that didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. But my sister did. I did lose my sister during the pandemic. A lot happened. I was listening. I did a lot of teaching on mental health. And like Dr. I keep saying Dr. Dru, and maybe I can make him one. And I can do that. I can do that too. And the whole entire time I pursued I'm a career student. I hold 7 degrees and 37 certifications to the state of North Carolina. I'm the first human service practitioner in the whole state of North Carolina. And so I do a lot of stuff. I work with a lot of city officials and dignitaries in the city.
Hold on 1 second, Dr. Jackson. Damian Harris, you get a degree. Avery Orange, you get a degree. Stan Hood, you get a degrry. She's gonna give us one of her degrees. Everybody gonna get one. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's a lot that happened during the pandemic because a lot of things changed. People became more afraid to be around family members too. I had I had family members that actually had COVID. Some died. Some were very blessed to get out. They still have a lot of breathing issues now. But I know some other family members were afraid to go around them. And one day I said, "That's my sister. I gotta go in." So I had to talk to her from the porch. I was in my car, and they wouldn't let me come in further in my car, and they were on the porch. And that was very devastating to not be able to go near your family members. And then in school, and like Shonda was saying, children came in, nobody told you what was wrong with these children, and they came in coughing and gagging and all this kind of stuff, and teachers going out with COVID, and I kept my room sprayed down, and it was just so devastating to go from that part. And it caused a lot of mental illness because people they think mental illness is like you're losing your mind, but no, it's not. You can become mental illness taking care of somebody that is ill or something, and sometimes you get tired taking care of loved ones, and you need a break, and you can't get that break, and you're just wondering, is anybody going to come in and help me? That's mental illness, because you're stressed out trying to get help to help you rescue yourself from that situation. And so it don't take, even teaching school. I heard Shonda, that was like mental illness because nobody wanted to get into the program. So that means that the finances wasn't coming in. So that, and even right now, I think sometimes I suffer from minor mental illness teaching preschoolers. I've taught every grade, but my best grade was preschool. But this last couple of weeks, I don't know what has happened. It's like, you know, to get a call from a parent on Saturday saying, my son came home and told me that you threw your teacher's appreciation gift in the trash and said you didn't want that gift, you wanted a gift card. and I'm saying, I'm trying to compose myself because I came from the hood, you know, John. I came from the hood, and I'm saying, do I want to deal with this right here? Do I need to go on in, you know? And I'm saying, no, it didn't happen that way, and it taught me during the pandemic. I had to close my church down for over 2 years, and to go back in and be told that you could only have 10 to 12 people in the church. And that was hard. And so my ministry took to social media. And I got more people on social media than that they are coming back to church. So it's a lot of stuff that has transpired since pandemic came about, because people are no longer interested in serving God like they used to. It's more like it's a mechanical thing now. So a lot has taken place. The emotions of people have changed. The dynamics of the homes have changed, and the dynamics between fellowships and friendships have taken a tremendous turn. I was listening. Businesses closed down. The finances, the people went and got their PPP loan or whatever. Now people are dealing with that all over again, and the educational balance as far as the federal loans and stuff, they're closing down. The house payments are skyrocketed, and now people are almost homeless again because they can't pay their mortgages. So a lot of things have transpired, and people have lost their homes. They've lost their jobs. And I service the homeless population a lot. I also service the elderly with the abusive situations they encounter, because when I was in Hickory, I worked mostly with making sure they got their homes back. They had no air conditioning, no heat in their homes, and I worked very hard. So a lot happened during the pandemic, and it made me, believe it or not, after passing 52 years, I'm finally learning how to live, because I never knew how. And that's the biggest thing. We've lived around the circle of trying to become very, very acquainted with society until we lose who we are. And then now we're trying to gain our mentality back, and we don't know where to start. It's almost like you get started, you're afraid to go any further because you feel like you're off course, and maybe you're doing something wrong or something, and you kind of like stop and you shut down and you go from one thing to another. And so what I do now is every degree I have, let me tell you what I got. I got an associate degree in human services. I got an undergraduate degree in a child development family relations. I have 4 master degrees. I have one in education, one in marriage and family counseling, one in business administration, one in ministerial theology studies, and one in my doctoral is in theology as well. And I have honorary doctorate. And I'm not saying that to say I'm so smart. These are things I acquired through the pandemic. I wouldn't stop. I kept going because I wanted to make sure if one thing didn't work, another thing did. That's what I like what Shonda was talking about. She went from this to that. If this don't work, I'm going to that. So something is going to work. And so what I took off to doing, Pastor Dru, is I started to pour back into the community. I'm also a life coach, a facilitator. I'm a mentor. Also, I do so many things. I want to do things because I came from my marriage was destroyed, and once my marriage got destroyed, right before pandemic came, and so I decided I was not going to sit there and grieve because he didn't want to take care of me. That's why I said I'm a strong Black African American woman, because I said if he can't do it, I'll take care of myself, and if he can't do what I can do, then I don't need him, because you only need it for one or two things anyway. That goes both ways. So I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot I was I'm just being honest, and you can't just tell me something and me believe that, because I ask questions. We don't ask enough questions. Men don't ask women enough questions. Women don't ask men enough questions. And after the pandemic came across, I started asking questions. How's your credit? Because if your credit bad, I don't know how your credit. What's going on with you? Because see, it's not that we can't become a team, but I want to know what I'm working with. I don't want to. Right. You ain't sitting home watching TV. And you're not crossing your legs. You're not doing none of that. We're gonna be a team. We're gonna be always working together or something. So, pandemic taught me how to relive life and to live life more effectively. And so I'm more cautious now as to how I live my life. And like Elder Bonner says, who I share my life with. So I'm very cautious about that. And they gotta be smart. They gotta be smart like me. They don't have to be real smart, but they must have some intellect or something. Because if we got to be on the same page talking, if I can train them how to talk to me, but they got to be able to be trainable. You know what I mean? So pandemic has changed a lot of dynamics, and now this is a new way now that God is allowing us to touch each other's lives. Like I'm meeting Miss Shonda for the first time, meeting Mr. Bonner for the first time, and I know that we could pour into each other. But we got to not be afraid to pour into each other.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
If I got something that you can use, then I need to be able to share that with you. I'm
absolutely
finished.
All right, everybody, thank you so much. My next guest is here for the second hour. He is a gospel recording rapper and a boxer. He is Bryce B. Barrett. Hey, Bryce.
Oh no, what's up with it? You can hear me?
We can hear you just fine.
Okay.
Thank you, man, for
thank you so much for letting me come on. Thank you.
I got to check with the panelists from the last hour to see who can stay. And that's Shonda. Do you have a little more time?
I got a little more time, and thank you also. Thanks for the invitation.
God bless you. Thank you, Shonda. Don't go anywhere because I still need to talk to you, Shonda. Okay. Dr. Jackson, I know you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone. I've been since 4:00 a.m. I'm gone.
We want to talk to you, girl.
All right, Greg. Do you need to take off, or you gonna stick around?
I can stick around.
All right, great. Okay, Jasmine was Jaslyn Olaya. All right, Jasmine, you can turn your mic on, your camera and your mic, or if you just want to turn your mic on, that's fine. We can hear you. Patricia Barrett, if you want to turn your mic on when you get ready to holler, is that one of your family members?
Yeah, I think that's guess. That's guess. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
All right. They're just watching from the green room. Yeah. If they want to speak, all they have to do is just hit the mic, and that'll turn their mic on. All right, everybody. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. Man, you know what I probably did? I gave them the link to the
to the show.
Yeah,
that's fine. They can watch from the green room.
Oh, okay. Go.
All right. I need you to do me a favor. Take your camera up so we can see the top of your head.
All right.
There you go.
Cool. All right. Cool.
There you go. Good to meet you, man. Real quick, Greg and Shonda, I met this young man on Facebook. When I tell you, this is probably one of the most humble brothers I have met in a long time. In the African-American community, especially with our brothers today, and especially those that get into hip hop and rap, they feel that the music has to also dictate their meetings, their verbiage, everything about them. This brother was just humble. I love God. I love doing what I do. Thanks for the opportunity. And so I told him that I wanted to bring him on because I thought that was a unique mix of boxing and and rapping. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm gonna knock you out one way or another. I'm gonna hit you with these lyrics, but you're gonna get knocked out one way or the other, right? All right, here we go. Hello, good people, and welcome once again to the second hour of the Dru Kelly Show. Hey, listen, great show. In the first hour, my guest stayed over. She is Shonda Kerr. She shared a little bit of life with us, a little bit of her work experience, and shared what the pandemic was like. One of the things I did not know, and I've been knowing Shonda for a little bit now, didn't know that she had lost a kid and then lost family members during the pandemic. And for all of you that have lost loved ones out there through the pandemic, God bless you. My heart goes out to you. We are talking about the new normal, and there's nothing that could demonstrate what it is that we're talking about more than losing someone you love and having to live without them. And so that new normal is something that you have to work at. But I have a guest he's from Houston, Texas, but now lives in the Chicago, Illinois. Why somebody would move to 30 below zero, wind blowing Chicago? We're gonna get into that because he did share with me why he did it. You're gonna learn in just a moment. Welcome to the Dru Kelly Show, Bryce.
Thank you for having me.
All right. The way we kick things off here at the Dru Kelly Show is we always start out with a starter question. The starter question is this thing that breaks the ice and get everybody that's here on tonight on One Accord and get us to feel like we're smarter than a fifth grader. And so there's a question that we pose, and we go around the table, and everybody get a chance to answer and kind of get your brain and your tongue on one accord. So when you get into the interview and get to talking on tonight, thing makes sense to people that are listening to you.
So.
Yeah, that part. All right. If you can look back pre-pandemic, during the pandemic, and post-pandemic, if you had to equate your life pre, during, and post by way of a fruit, what fruit would it be and why? I'm going to start with you, Shonda.
You know what? If you want to get analytical like that, I would say a watermelon. Why? Because if you think of the seeds in a watermelon, there were seeds that were sown at the beginning of the pandemic, and there were seeds that were sown towards the end of the pandemic. So I'll say a watermelon. If I could think of anything, I would say watermelon. And some of the seeds were not so good. Now, some of these seeds were not so good, and then you had to adjust. You had to adjust and everything. So,
wow, that's awesome. There were more Black businesses created as a result of the monies that came from the pandemic than ever before in this country's history. And so I absolutely, positively agree with you there. Greg, if you had to describe post, during, and after the pandemic with a fruit, which fruit would it be and why?
I'm not really sure of the process, but I'm going to go with a grape because I'm thinking most grapes start out green, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then that's good. Then I say a grape because over time, most grapes start out green. And as they mature and things improve and get better, they end up red. And the longer they wait, the darker red they become. And I equate that to wine. Most wine drinkers start off with the white wines, which is sweeter. And then as they mature, get better. And as their palate begins to mature more, most people move over to the red wines, which are a lot less sweeter and a little more based on the food that you eat. So I'm gonna go with the grape, going from green to red. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's go to Chicago. Bryce, if you had to put this whole thing together, post, during, and after the pandemic, if you had to describe that whole experience by way of a fruit, which fruit would it be and why?
I think I'm about to go to mango.
Why is that?
All right. So it's kind of funny. So most people, they like to when they get the mango, they like to take off the skin and then they eat it. But I'm kind of different. I like to eat the skin. I like to eat the skin with the fruit. You know what I'm saying? But this is the reason why I chose a mango, because all right, so even if a mango is not ready, or if it's ready or not, the outside is still gonna taste good. But if you get a mango that's not ready, the inside of it is gonna taste kind of like bitter and green. But if it's ready, it's gonna be super juicy. You know what I'm saying? So this is the reason why I chose the mango, because before the pandemic, it was kind of jumping. You know what I'm saying? I had me like a shoe business, and I was boxing at the same time. I just won a national title at the time. So you know what I'm saying? That's the outer part of it. But then when the pandemic hit, it kind of got like a little sour. You know what I'm saying? So that's boom. I'm biting into the mango, and the mango not really ready. You know what I'm saying? But then after the pandemic, that's when things got sweet. You know what I'm saying? I done waited a little bit, then I ate the mango, and boom, it's sweet, it's good, it's ready to go. So, you know, that's how I describe it right there.
I have a female cousin, and she older. She is a boxer too. She a champion. She's older now though.
Oh, what's her name?
Eva Jones.
Eva Jones.
She won some titles.
Oh, for
real? She won some titles.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Wow. If I had to equate the pandemic experience prior, during, and post, it would be bananas. Okay. It would be bananas. Absolutely, positively bananas. You got folks that don't want you to tell them that they can't bring a gun to the Capitol, but those same folks tell you, I'm not wearing a mask. Bananas.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You got people that want to go shopping, and people are barely getting out the house. They get enough nerve to go to the store, and here come Karen, wants to go in the store and touch everything in the store and don't want to wear a mask. So I found it just absolutely positively bananas that the very people who complain about their freedoms are the people that didn't want the government telling them what to do. So I found that to be just absolutely positively bananas. Thank y'all. That's how we get warmed up here at the Dru Kelly Show each and every week. That was kind of corny, but it's just to break the ice and to get everybody on the same page. For those of you out there watching, if you would like to give a fruit, not one that's been given already, but if you would like to give a fruit that would describe your pre, during, and post pandemic experience, go right ahead and type away. Right now, everybody that's out there, whether you're on Facebook, Twitter, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, if you're out there right now, we need you to hit the hearts, man. Hit the heart. I need everybody out there to do 10 hearts. Do 10 hearts. 5, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. 10 hearts, everybody right now. All right. Right now, thank you for those of you that have been here since 8 o'clock and you stayed on for the second recording with our special guest tonight, Bryce B. Barrett. I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you that have been planning with your boy. We're trying to get into the studio and people have been blessed. I am the worst. I need a producer like yesteryear. I am the worst at reading messages and asking for donations and that kind of thing. I'm the worst. I've go weeks without asking, but I'm going to put it up tonight. We're P Voices, as a matter of fact. We're P Voices on Cash App. P Voices on Cash App. All you have to do is just go there and donate, man. Donate. We are really trying to do the studio thing. We will be studio in Atlanta, GA. The studio's in Atlanta. We're going to be in Atlanta, and shows are going to be taped just once a month. And so what that means is that all 4 guests are going to meet on that one day. And so we're just taping that one day in Atlanta, 4 guests, and they'll run the 4 consecutive weeks. Okay. Then when there's 5 weeks in the month, the best interview out of those 4 will repeat to do the 5th week of the month. All right.
You're going to have to tell me about that a little bit later on, figure out what's going on with that.
Let's get into our interview with the boxer rapper. Let's go back, Bryce. Growing up, Bryce. Yep. Bryce, start your early years, and I want you to stop at the 6th grade.
All right, early years and stop at the 6th grade.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, you want me to describe like what was it like
growing up? What was it like growing up? Brothers, sisters. What was mom and daddy like? What was the neighborhood like? What was school like? Elementary and junior high.
So
or just through elementary.
So let's see. I guess I can start off. I mean, as a kid, I don't know. Life has always been fun. Like when I was a kid, I was heavy into wrestling, man. I always wanted to be a wrestler. Like, I wanted to be on the WWF. And
so you was around the house breaking your mama's stuff, huh?
Yeah, not only that, but see, I was that kid. I'd go to the schoolhouse, and while the teacher teaching in the classroom, man, I try to DDT somebody on the table. I remember this dude named Warren, man. Me and him, we used to go at it all the time in the 3rd grade. But man, I don't know, man. I used to always just try to just man make a thrill out whatever I could, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But then,
Yeah.
but I was born in Greenspoint. It's a community in Houston. You know what I'm saying? And then kind of like my 4th grade year, that's when I moved to like the suburbs. And it was kind of like a I ain't gonna lie, it was a different transition. Like it was like I don't know, I ain't gonna lie, it was kind of hard to
adjust.
To adjust to, to adjust to, because like they was like,
I want you to stop right there. You're basically saying there was a culture shock when you went to the suburbs.
Yeah.
Describe the first day of school in the new neighborhood.
All right, so the first day of school, man, I'll tell you exactly how it was. All right, so boom, like, so you know, I noticed like all the kids, they was kind of like, you know, heavy articulate. You know, hey, my name is Connor, and you know, I'm from this area, and then so like I was kind of like I seen the area that I was living in, so. Drew, you still there? Is Drew there?
I think we're here. He's just working.
We there? We good?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So yeah. So like, all right. So boom. You know, I noticed how nice the area was, and as I noticed that, I was kind of like embarrassed of where I was from. So like all the kids would go around and say, yeah, you know, I'm born and raised in this area. I'd be like, I'd make some up at the time. I'll say, yeah, I just moved over here from Chicago, and I'm just trying to, you know, because I kind of looked around at the area, and I was like a little embarrassed at the fact that, you know, I was actually from Greenspoint, you know what I'm saying? But now looking back at it, I actually embrace where I'm from, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So how'd you get into boxing?
Well, all right. But before I get into that, I gotta say, you know, I don't box no more. You know, I recently stopped boxing. But what got me into boxing was like, all right, so like growing up, bro, I used to fight all the time. Like, you know, just for the fun of it. Like, yeah, like just for the fun of it. Like, I don't know, it was just always fun to fight. Like, even in school, if somebody thought that they could beat me up, man, in the middle of the classroom, I was that type of person that, man, we'll step out in the hallway right now, I bet you won't whoop me, type of thing. And then so
That's
so
I just can't imagine Bryce today being that dude.
Yeah, man. And
let me ask you this. What was the toughest school years for you?
Man, the toughest school years?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I had to say, I ain't even gonna lie. I had to say, man, 11th and 12th. Man, they always tough, bro. But I'm gonna have to go to 11th and 12th, man.
What made those tough for you?
Cause that's when I kind of got into deep. I kind of got into deep into the lifestyle that I was living. I was kind of getting a little into deep. You know,
you care to share?
Yeah, man, no problem. Man, so you know, growing up, I always wanted that father figure, and you know, I understood that mama can't teach me how to be a man. As much as she loved her baby boy, mama can't teach me how to be a man. So with that being said, I had to go like search it out for myself, and like, you know what I'm saying, I seen the big homies, I seen, you know what I'm saying, the respect that they got, the money that they got, and you know what I'm saying, so it's like, man, I want that too, you know. And so, but with that being said, they taught me how to, like, all right, boom, you got to carry yourself like this, you got to walk like this, you got to talk like this, you can't fear no man, you got to, you know what I'm saying, you gotta stand 10 toes on who you are as a person. And so, you know what I'm saying, and with that being said, man, that lifestyle used to, it led to a lot of stuff, because Houston's one of them cities where everybody wants to be the man in that side of town. Like, all right, so you got the north side and you got the south side. All right, so boom, like I'm from the north side, and so like the group of people that we roll with, our particular group wanted to be known as them people on the north side, and it was just a big competition of who was the top dogs on the north side, and so that led to a lot of shootouts. That led to, man, I remember it led to a situation where man, we had to be on the run because a dude almost died at like a little situation where we got into it with, and we ended up on the news, and we all up on the run, and yeah, man, it was just that's when we got too in too deep, man, too in too deep. I didn't got to a situation. Let me tell you about a crazy situation. We didn't got to a situation where bro, this is the grace of God right here. This is the grace of God right here, man. It was we didn't got to a situation where it was an all-out war one time. It was a 50-on-50 big old clique fight. Their clique versus our clique. Boom. We get to squabbling, and the next shots get fired. One of their mans get shot. And then so boom, they call my top dog. They like, hey, all right, so boom, we met y'all on y'all territory. So y'all come on our territory this time. And then so we like, shoot, we ain't tripping, you know what I'm saying? We still gonna make it do what it do. Boom. We on our way to their territory. We look, man, we strapped up. We like, man, like 10 cars deep. Each car got guns in it. Guns, illegal guns, bro. And we stopped at this place called Granger to go get some extra bullets. Because we knew what we was getting ourselves into. The moment we go into their neighborhood, it's gonna be an all-out shootout. And boom, we get to play fighting in the parking lot, just to prepare ourselves. Like, yeah, we finna show them up again with the whoop. And then the cops pull up. And then boom, the cops went to go searching some of the cars, bro. And some of the cars that they searched, they didn't find out one gun.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
So what did they do with the guns?
Yo, they hit them so good. I have no idea, bro. Like the people that I was rolling with, I guess they hit them so good, bro, to where like the police, they were searching all our cars. And we didn't actually even give them a reason to search our cars, but I guess they kind of like, they heard about some activity that went on in the neighborhood.
Right.
And so they kind of assumed that we was a part of it. And so they went to search some of the cars, and they didn't find out one gun, bro.
I just can't believe, look, everybody's got a story. Yeah. And the humble, great guy that Bryce is today, I would have never in a million years thought that, that you come from, that you came from a story like that. Yeah. How did Bryce escape that life and that lifestyle?
Man, we'll put a stamp on that. We'll put an ending on that is when one of my partners I grew up with, his name Chase, when he died, and I knew he didn't go to heaven. I knew it. Yeah. And so that was the turning point in my life where I was like, I got to give my life to the Lord Jesus Christ, because I've been to church, but church wasn't really in me. I've been to church because it was like, I'm going to church because, they make me go to church.
Right.
And but at the same time, I was still listening.
Right.
And at the same time, they was telling me, like, at the same time as I'm listening, they was saying like, yo, it's either heaven or it's either hell. There is no in between. And so my partner Chase, a week before that, he shot one of my other partners in the neck.
Accidentally, or he meant to?
It was accidentally, but he was too deep into the game. He got too deep into the game. And so it just got to the point where he just felt like he was just a man. He just, man, I'm Chase. I'm the man on the north side. I'm the man at Greens Point. Yeah. So
he was invisible. So when you say,
yep.
When you say, I know he didn't go to heaven, you knew he was a menace to society.
Yeah. But see, growing up though, he was a good kid. Like we grew up on the same basketball team together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he was a good kid, man. He was always funny.
Yeah, I don't think any person grow up and say, I want to be a crackhead, I want to be a murderer, I want to be, you know, a derelict, I want to be this, that, and the other. There are life circumstances and sometimes the wrong crowd that we get with, that we find ourselves being corrupted by our environment. So how did I ask you, how'd you get out of that? Now, how'd you get out of Houston?
Oh, all right. So, man. So, so I was working at FedEx at the time, and so I guess they didn't quite really like me because how I saw how they was running the system. It wasn't right. It wasn't wise. Like I was a truck driver and they had me running 2 routes. And so I went to the owner of the FedEx that I worked at. I'm like, okay, all this money that y'all got, you mean to tell me that you can't split up this route and like and split and make this, and you know, make this a 2-truck route? And so she made it.
Let me stop you there. How many hours a day were you working?
Oh man, had to been 12 to 14 hours.
14 hours a day. Yeah, they really did.
Yeah, 12 to 14 hours. Yeah.
They really did need more help. So how did you end up in Chicago?
Yeah. So we get into that. So boom. I later they found a plot to fire me. I one day had a big load one day. I couldn't finish my route. I called my manager. Hey man, what should I do about this? He said, okay, well, just bring the packages back to the shop and then type in this certain code into the scanner. I typed in that certain code and I guess it was the wrong code, and it said that basically in the system it looked like I stole 74 packages.
Wow.
And then so I go up to work one day and they're like, yeah, man, it looks like, man, on the system it looks like you stole 74 packages, man. You put us in a bind, so we gotta let you go. I'm like, what? Get out of here. And then so
wait a minute, wait. Huh? So when you bring this stuff back, don't you turn it in to somebody and you
still turn it in? Right. You still turn it in. Right. You still turn it in. And then so boom, I was out of a job. And I was just doing little gigs here and there to make some extra money. And I was working for my old pastor in Houston. And he had a company. I was working for his company one day, and I had a long walk back home. And then I'm like, God, I don't want to live like this no more. Like, man, I want to live good, God. Like, man, what is that out? And then he showed it to me vividly. He didn't even say nothing. He just, as I'm walking, he showed me a vision, Chicago. And when he showed me that, it looked so real to me. I got back home. I said, baby, I know this sounds crazy, but God needed us to move to Chicago. And she thought about it. She was like, what? That's crazy. And then I was like, shoot, probably about 30 minutes later. All right. So what we got to do? We got to pack up. We got to move this. We got to do that. Let's go.
Wait, no job.
Nah.
No family there.
Nah. I mean, I got an auntie out here, but that's it.
Yeah. Is that who you all moved with when you first got there?
When we first moved out here, yeah, for sure. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Now you talk about blind leap of faith.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get employed once you got there? You and your wife.
Before a week before, it was like either a week or 2 weeks before I moved out there, I called a FedEx out there, and they really was in need of help, and so boom. The third day while I was out here, I got hired, and I started that day. That day that I was out here. So it's been up since.
Wow. Your story is quite amazing, because I know people are listening and they hear the thug part and they hear I banged and I was with my crew, and they're gonna get stuck on that. But what I want people to hear is that you had made up in your mind that you knew that that was God telling you to leave, and you trusted God and you obeyed God.
Yep.
And you stepped out on faith and you got there, and in 3 short days, what you had been trying to do in Houston, God wouldn't let it happen in Houston because you were supposed to leave. And you followed him and you got to Chicago, and you've been working at FedEx ever since?
So it gets more juicier, man. So boom, I work at FedEx, you know. Lo and behold, man, the same thing happens.
Wow.
Except this time, it was like a little small itty bitty package falls off my cart, and I guess I didn't report it, and so they say, hey, yeah, it looks like you stole a package, man. We gotta let you go. But you want to know something? I think an angel pushed that package off my cart.
Why do you say that?
Because after that, God told me, son, you'll never work another regular job ever again in your life.
Wow. So what have you been doing since then?
So what I've been that's when I really got deep into my boxing career after that. But once I won my belts and stuff, I knew that it was over with. Because my only goal was to simply be a champion. That was it. I wanted to be a champion. I did that. I got out. And it's crazy, man. You want to know, like, all I do, man, is rap.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, how did you go from a conventional job, FedEx, to boxing to rapping?
Yeah. I was already rapping when I was in the world. And but when my friend Chase died, that's when I became a Christian rapper. But then I stopped. For a minute because I didn't the game was still the same as it was in the world.
Wow. Say that again. Let people hear this. Because people think just because you rapping about Jesus and grabbing your crotch while you rapping about Jesus, that, you know, somehow or another Christians, you know, if you do it in the Christian arena, then somehow tell them again. Say it again.
Yeah, man. The game, I looked up and I noticed, man, the game was still the same, man. You know, I'm like, I had people.
What were the similarities?
Greed and fame.
Wow.
Greed and fame. I had people turn their back on me just so they can get the upper edge in as far as getting known more, and you know what I'm saying, and there were shows that was supposed to be done and people wouldn't tell me about it, and I'm just looking like, I thought this is the body of Christ. I thought, you know, I'm thinking like, yo, this like man, what we doing?
They said, praise God, and we got this.
Yeah, man. Like it was this dude I was rapping with at the time, man. I can tell like he was kind of envious of the talent that I had. Mm-hmm. And so to keep our friendship, I said, bro, man, I'll let you can go ahead and rap, bro. You got this. I'll stop rapping. And just so you can do it, I'll just go to boxing. Hey, that's what I grew up doing. Hey, I'll just go box just so you can have it. Kind of like Abraham and Lot.
Right.
Abraham was like, man, listen, just so it won't be no strife between us, you can have this part of the land. I'll take this land right here. Just so it won't be no strife between us. And so yeah, that's what happened. And so that's what led me to really get into boxing because of that. And then once I got done with boxing, man, God came to me and said, son, how long you gonna run from me? How long you gonna run from the call that I called you to do? And then so ever since he told me that, I've been rapping and my ministry been taking care of me.
Wow. I tried to get the video up. We couldn't get the video going. I wanted to do the Peep video. Here's an awesome video. Tell us what your writing style is like. Is it real life moments that you write about? What does it take? Do you need a candle in the dark, water running?
Man, I love, man, I love the Holy Spirit. I'll tell you that before I get into it right there, man. The Holy Spirit, because so as I'm making music, I'll run through beats, just run through beats, and when I hear that one beat, like I can feel the Holy Spirit just jump inside. I can feel the Holy Spirit, boom, gravitate to this beat. It's like the Holy Spirit just immediately hugs on that beat. And so I know the feeling. I'll hear that beat, and then I'll just vibe to it. And then next thing you know, the Holy Spirit will just, he'll give me a tempo. And then when he gives me a tempo, I know, okay, boom, this is the song that the Holy Spirit needs me to do. So then I'll pray, Holy Spirit, in the name of Jesus, hey, I thank you that you bless me with the supernatural lyrics to make this song a hit for your kingdom and glory. After I pray, the lyrics just come, they just spill out. But this is the thing, the Holy Spirit, he always just spills out the lyrics of what I've lived, what I'm going through, and what I'm believing for.
Wow.
You know, like
that is awesome, man. Listen, I am so glad that I met you. You're a very interesting brother. Very, very interesting brother. I like the fact that you're not afraid to hear God. Right. You're not afraid to take a chance on God.
Right.
What you're saying tonight will leave some people thinking that boy crazy.
Yeah. Hey man, my wife
because they
didn't think about me before she met me, man.
Because they don't have that kind of faith. When people don't have that kind of faith to go get it, and especially, and it's hard for people if you've gone to school and if you've worked a conventional job and you've had the security in that, it's kind of hard to step away from that to have, to do what it is that you've done. And so, man, it takes a special relationship with God to be able to do that. I'm going to take a moment and turn this over to my two co-hosts that stuck around with me. And if they have a question for you, I'm going to let them ask a question. I'm going to start with Greg.
Well, I was waiting on I was going to ask about where can someone see some of your videos, your music? I'm assuming somewhere on YouTube, whatever. And are there any, you are doing shows now, so is there any shows coming up that anyone can see you perform?
Yeah. I wish I had can y'all hold on for just like 1 second?
No, I tell you what, when this is over, just put it up in here and people will be able to see it in the comments here.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, if you'll send it over to me, because this isn't what people are going to see. We're going to cut from here and add all the stuff that we do to make this ready for television. And so if you'll send it over to me, I'll put it in there.
Cool. Yeah, thank you.
Right. Anything else, Greg?
That was it. I was just to go out and try and see some of his stuff and see if he had anything.
See, that's his way of saying seeing if he got anything other than a close relationship with God. Let's see if these lyrics match.
It's
good. To look on iTunes, see if he had any music or something like that we can go out and try and purchase some.
Sure.
Yeah, he's got some really good stuff. Shonda,
the questions me and this other girl that I'm working with, we had a business meeting today, actually in the morning, and we're doing an artist showcase. Okay. So would you be willing to come to the artist showcase with the other artists?
Of course. Where is it at?
In South Bend, Indiana, at Chocolate Cafe.
Yeah.
We're planning for June or July.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. Whenever there's an opportunity for me to minister the gospel, man, I'm fired up, man.
Because we need it bad up here. These kids is rotten.
Yeah.
They is riding up to the core up here, some of them.
Yeah. See, y'all not too far from Chicago.
I'm serious, so. Drew. I'm serious. They is.
Yeah.
Wow. You're not that far from each other.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You're not that far from each other. Hey, listen, man. I want to thank you so much for being a very special guest. I'm going to have you back, Bryce, and bring your music next time so people can view the music. And that, because there's still a lot of questions. We didn't even go over half the stuff that you sent over to me. So next time you come back, we're going to have you to do that. I'm also going to invite you back to co-host with me from time to time. All right. When we get some of these rappers that don't really know God yet, we're going to have you to come in and sit with your boy, Pastor Dru.
Man.
Yeah. It's all good.
I'm going to follow you on Facebook, Bryce. Let me see. Are you on Facebook, Bryce?
Yeah.
On Facebook, he's Bryce, BRYCE.
Word said gospel rap artist lives in Chicago. Is that you got on blue?
What do I got on?
Blue?
Yeah, I got a blue. Yeah.
Bryce B.
Okay, I just sent you a Facebook request.
Okay, cool.
Bryce B.
Cool.
Barrett.
Cool.
BARRETT.
All right. Yeah, he'd be good. The other young men need to look up to somebody because, like I said, they hear some of them is riding to the core.
Yeah.
From them classes I was teaching, through them classes I was teaching, I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. Hey, listen, let me go back. There's folks that have been hollering at us. I told y'all I am horrible at hollering back at folks out there, which is probably why half the folks don't plant with your boy Pastor Dru. The Bible says you have not because you ask not. And I just get to going and don't. Hey, listen, Misty Archild. Yeah. Says this is great. They send you a shout out. Lynette Spicer, God bless you. Thank you, Lynette. There's a whole bunch of people on Facebook who didn't put their name in there, so I can't tell. Denise Lee, hey Denise, God bless you. Actress Teresa Guilford. Oh, hey Teresa, man, God bless you, Teresa. I gotta get you on. My sister Ruth Ann Stewart.
Ruth Ann
is still here. God bless you, Cookie. James Hereford is on. What's going on, Squeaky? Stan Hood, Lisa Hood, Avery Orange, Tony Wilson, Doug Jamerson, Pat Colin, John Mizarari, Gail Sanders. God bless you all. God bless you all. Hold on. Let's goes on.
It's a lot of people that's on there. Wow.
Javon Mack.
Praise God.
Tony Evans. Jay Bourne. Michael Douglas. God bless you all. And so many more. But we're running out of time. God bless you all and thank you so much. Hey man,
thanks so much for the invitation.
God bless you. Is there anything you want to leave the audience with, Bryce?
Yeah, man. Hey, just stay tuned in and hey, get your seatbelts and get ready to see this because the world will see the glory of the Lord manifested. And before I leave, I just want to let if you're in Chicago, we got a show coming up at Living Word Christian Center, 9 a.m. in the Go Hard Youth Ministry. That's going to be an explosion. And the week after that, we're going to be in Houston and Greenspoint. And we're good, man. That's gonna be another explosion.
Let's go, Drew. You want to go, Drew?
Hold on, Shonda.
Okay.
Go ahead. Finish up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. May 26th, we're gonna be in Greenspoint. It's the homecoming. I'm super excited about that, man. Yo, I've been in prayer about that, and I see an abundance of souls getting saved, man. So I'm just super excited about what the Lord got going on, man. And I truly appreciate you for having me on this show. I truly appreciate it.
God bless you, man. God bless you. We're gonna be in touch. We're going to be in touch. There's a couple of things I got going on, so I'm definitely going to be in touch with you and definitely bring you to Florida.
Amen. Praise God.
In the fall.
Amen.
October, I got something going on. I got a youth festival going on. So I definitely look to bring you down in the fall. Greg, what's going on with Pearly May Greg, what is it? Greg Michaels Entertainment.
Gregory. Well, pardon me. We just had our big annual successful, very, very successful fundraiser. So now we're in the process of one part of what the fundraiser does is purchases book bags and school supplies, a year's worth of school supplies from an adopted school. So right now we're purchasing supplies and ordering stuff, and we're looking for our event space for next year, because this year was so big, we've outgrown the space that we normally had. So we're working on that, and then Mark Gregory got some other events coming on, but they're not charitable events. They're just big events.
Like what? Like what's Pearly May? What does the business do? What do you do?
So Pearly May is a charitable foundation, and it has two folds. First, we adopt a school that needs assistance, and we buy book bags, normally between 100 to 200 book bags for the school, and we fill them up with all the school supplies that the students will need. And we try to get enough that they'll have all the school supplies that they'll have for the entire year. And then we also give boxes of school supplies to the principal or the teacher that is selected, so that even as the students start to run out, they can still go and get school supplies. And then the other half is we give scholarships to kids who have graduated high school and are looking to further their education, not necessarily four-year colleges, but if you decided you want to go to a trade school or you want to take a certificate program or something like that, we provide scholarships, assistance scholarships to help students with that. And this is just an organization I created based on my mother. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Greg, I brought Greg on to get a little practice in, because Greg has started his own podcast also in the very near future.
Okay.
In the very near future.
Yeah.
But he's going to start his podcast. And so those of you that are out here, he's going to be with me periodically getting some practice in. So when he starts his podcast, he'll have some followers. You guys can check out Greg Bonner and see what he's doing. Help him out getting started over there as well. Remember, Bryce B. Barrett. Go Google him. Look him up on Facebook. Holler at your man. Ladies, he's married, so act accordingly.
He's so young. He's old enough probably to be my son or something. He is not.
he's a baby, but hey,
he's a baby.
Look, hey, he's a baby, but hey, it is.
I drew out.
He's messing around. But I sent both of you guys friend requests as well. All right.
Okay, yeah, I see that. I got that, man. Thank you.
All righty.
And I think that's you, Shonda. You know how ladies can switch it up. So
I got them braids. Yeah, I got the crochet braids. I look different. Yeah. Got the crochet braids.
Okay, great. All right.
I'm a little natural today, but hey, I didn't feel like I took my braids down like a few days ago.
Yeah.
All right. My battery was going down, and I got right to the end where I was supposed to stop anyhow. But thank you, everybody. We will see you all on Thursday night. My very special guest is Deatra Hick from the play, Tyler Perry play, Family Reunion. And My Husband is Cheating on Us, the show My Husband is Cheating on Us, and Dreamgirls from Broadway. She's going to be a very special guest, and we're going to see if we can find out if she and Tyler Perry has made up. Thursday night at Fox Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific time. Until then, God bless you, and thank you for joining me on the Dru Kelly Show. God bless.
Bye. Bye.